Okay, we're on the final page of the 5.5 notes, function operations. And this one is one I doubt you've seen before. It's called composite functions. And essentially what this is you put one of the functions into the other one to make a new one. And there is another way to think of this. I'm going to show you both ways. When the result of one of the function becomes the input to the next, it's called a composite function. So you find the answer to the first function and you plug that answer into the second function. Another way to think of this is you plug the result of the first function into the other function. And what is important on this notation is to know that you do the second one or the inside one first. Now you've had experience with this double nesting version where you put something inside parentheses, and you start from the inside and work your way outwards. Now there's a new symbol here, that little circle, F circle G. You read it as if it were the letter O. So this would be fog. Sorry. This would be fog. And we got another one down here, Goff of X. So you read it as if it were the letter O. And you keep the letters in the same order, but you nest them. So you got one of them inside the other one is kind of the idea here. And I'm going to do it two ways. I'm going to start showing you the way where you find the first answer and plug that into the second function. Okay, that's what I'll start with, but I'm not a fan of that way of doing it, so I'll do it the other way for all the rest of these. All right, so we're going to take 2, and we're going to plug it into G first of all. So you can say I take 2 and I square it and add 1 to it. And that ends up giving 5. And then you take 5 and plug it into the other one over here, 3x minus 7. And when you do that, it's 15 minus 7 gives 8. So you plug it into the first function, but understand the first function is the one that's written in the back. And then once you've done that, you take that answer and plug it into the other one. So you kind of work your way backwards when it's written like this. Now, I prefer to write it in nested format. So you can see over here, I put f of 2 inside of G. And you start there. You work with that f of 2 inside first, just like in the order of operations, inside parentheses is done before outside parentheses. So f of 2, you start there. 2 times 3 is 6 minus 7 gives negative 1. And then you take the negative 1 and put it in there, and negative 1 squared is 1 plus 1 more. And that one's done. Okay, so we're going to come on down here to problem 24. And I've got H, circle G, circle F. So it's hard to read that Hogof, I guess you'd say. But you start with the one that's on the right. So f of 3, you figure that one first. So come up here and go 3 times 3 is 9 minus 7 gives 2. So you plug that into the next one in line, which is G. And 2 squared plus 1 is 5. And finally, you plug that one into the one that was waiting in line here. 5 times, oops, I'm on this end here. 2 times 5 is 10. 8 minus 10 is negative 2. So you just work your way through the thing backwards, as it were. Okay, so here you're going to take negative 3 and put it into G. And that gives negative 3 squared is 9. Plus 1 more is 10. And you put it right back into G. So 10 squared is 100, plus 1 more is 101. And yeah, these are a little complicated. Okay, now we're doing fog of X. So you're going to start on the inside here with G of X, and you can see that if you plug X into G, you just get what it says up there, G of X, which is, if you read up there, it says this. So now you take that expression and put it into this one right here, which triples it and subtracts 7 from it. And you can see the rest of the work there. You end up with 3x squared minus 4. Turn that around and do Goff of x. So now we're plugging f of x, which is this one, into the other one, which then squares it and adds 1 to it. And if you do all the math there, you're going to get 9x squared minus 42x plus 50. Let me just say that if you have difficulty with this part of it being equal to this part, then you can write it out like this: 3x minus 7 and 3x minus 7. And if you FOIL that out, you'll see that that's 9x squared minus 42x plus 49. All right, we got 2 more here. We're going to do hog of t, which is h of g of t. You don't change the order when you write it down. You just change the order in which you do it. So we start on the inside, g of t. When you plug t in for x in that function up there, you get, instead of x squared plus 1, you get t squared plus 1. Then you take that t squared plus 1 and put it right here. And it's 8 minus 2 times that. You can see I wrote that there. And distribute the 2, the negative 2, and then collect your like terms, and you end up with negative t squared plus 6. And finally, go, I guess you'd say GOH is go of t. You're going to take h of t, and you can see that if I plugged a t in for this x down here, it'd be 8 minus 2t. And once you get that 8 minus 2t, you plug that into g, which squares it and adds 1. And once again, if you struggle with this part being the same as this, then write it out like this. I'll do it off to the side here. 8 minus 2t times 8 minus 2t would be 64 minus 16t minus 16t plus 4t squared. And then we have that plus 1 on the end. So I just put it in the right order and add the 64 and 1. So there's your final answer. And that does it for these notes. Hope you held on for the ride there, because that was a little difficult.